Hey everybody, back in the car. Lauren threw me out again. The room shooting in before was like really dark and the lighting was bad and it was a little echoey, whereas the car just doesn't seem to be echoey at all, and then the lighting's better. It's also really easy to open it when go right before the gym or after the gym. This is before the gym. It would look the same as after the gym because trying to do weights and then I don't sweat and it looks like I didn't work out at all. But yeah, here we are. Anyway, let's look at a few of the things that are going on in the business. Just a little chat, nothing too much. Just a few things that I'm working on, as well as ranting about some stuff that really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't worth ranting about, because there's a lot harder things going on in people's lives. But you know, here we are. It's time to rant about minor inconveniences. First minor inconvenience was let's see, this week, really started to get some sales on fixed price. A lot of our stuff is auction, but we did start doing fixed price, when we reopened in July. And working through that, it's actually gone pretty well. It's nice to kind of get, it seems to be, instead of getting all the sales on Sundays, you'll get a couple on Tuesday and one on Wednesday. It's nice to have that even flow where, if you look at the performance tab on your eBay, and it was all just spiking on Sunday, and then it was like boom, drops off for any other day. So to kind of have a few sales throughout the week. But yeah, I think people like that. A few things that we've noticed are, with fixed price, the thing that I've noticed is that had probably, I don't know, two or three, I think it's 3 sales. People seem to, and I know what they're doing. People think that I'm dumb, I guess. Maybe it's the little tiny hair on the top of my head, but they'll buy it now card, which you have to click buy it, you have to click accept, click what kind of payment method, and then buy it. There's a lot of buttons to click, and they buy it and immediately say, hey, can you cancel? And they don't give it a reason. It's like, well, why do you want to cancel? It'll be like, I just need to cancel, thanks, like really short. And I've been doing this for a while. I kind of see what's going on. I'll click into their profile. It's like, oh, well, either you look at their completed sales that might have not sold, or their actual active listings. And it's like, oh, you kind of have the same exact card listed on your eBay. I kind of see what you're doing. You're trying to create a comp. And I don't know. They're just trying to create a comp so that they can go sell it to somebody else, and say, oh, wow, this sold at this price. And not to say that all of our stuff or any of our stuff is like way overpriced and they can create that comp. I think a lot of our stuff is basically market value. So they're not really doing much there. But, I think they want to create that, oh, wow, it just sold this day. So, if you want it right now, you can have it for this on Instagram for, 5% less and save you on fees. All this kind of stuff. I've seen this. I've been doing this since, 2017 started the eBay store back again. I've seen all this. I know what you're doing. The good thing about, though, is that, a lot of the fixed price stuff we have is over $250 and we have no returns. And what happens is that since authenticity guarantee, and it's authenticated, which, the slabs will be, there's no return. It's called a final sale on eBay, which is great because I just say, no, ship it out, and they can't return it. So it's on them. They can have their card that they bought, and they try to create, some weird manipulation on the price and waste my time. But nope, sent, and they get their card. So I had to do that a couple times. It was kind of nice because I'm sure that happens a lot on our auctions. I mean, not a lot, but I'm sure it does happen occasionally on our auctions where someone's not intending to pay at all. They shill it up to a certain price, and then they don't pay and they cancel. The thing about auctions, though, is that the eBay still hasn't rolled out auto payment for auctions. So people can just bid it up. If they have a card that they might want to sell and they want a high comp that they can show to somebody, they just show up and then they say, oops, cancel, don't pay, ban me, I don't care. And that's what some of these people, most of them always say, you need to pay, a bid is binding, you're going to be blocked, banned, reported, and they're like, I don't care. And then they just don't pay it, which is extremely frustrating. But with Buy It Now, it's auto charged and there's nothing you can do. And people don't really realize that. They think I'm dumb. They really do. So that's been something that I realized with fixed price. you know, kind of what happens there. If someone buys it and they're like panicking and they're like, I didn't mean to, and blah, 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 but it's never like that. It's always like, just cancel it. And they're really, you can tell that they just want to create a comp. So I had to deal with that with the auction side. Kind of the same thing. Had a consignor send in some high valuable cards, and once again, I guess thought I was dumb. They, you know, on our SKU, and if you have only a handful of cards or whatever, you don't have to create SKUs, right? Which is basically, it's when you actually, someone pays for an order, it'll list a little, you know, line item that'll say kind of more information on the card. It's not viewable to publicly on eBay. It's just viewable to you when the person pays for it. But if you know where your card is, you just go and get it. You don't need a SKU. But for us, considering we have a lot of other people's cards, we have 1,000 cards that we're listing, we can't just have a picture of the card. We have to have a SKU, and our SKUs are basically, it says the consignor's name, dash the cert number, dash the box letter, dash the box number. So it might be whatever, Joe Smith, dash 7345738, whatever the cert number is, dash A dash 7. So it's this consignor, it's the card is this cert number, it's in box A, the 7, the side of 7 in the A box, which makes it a lot easier to pick the card, but also you know, it gives them more information and then makes it more of a check system on our side. So when this person bought you know, the card, it says order from, you know, this person, and then the SKU underneath was that person. And this wasn't a common name, it was a very uncommon name. It's from the same country, and saying that's, I was like, oh no, that's, you know. And then I went to the other, I don't know, 10 items that they had listed, and what do you know? They didn't bid on any other items but those 10 items that they submitted. So it was definitely someone trying to show up their items. This has happened a few times. I don't want to give credit to them, but I'm trying to think of a different word but credit. But anytime that I've called out the people and say, you chill this is against terms of service, everything will be canceled, everything, you'll be charged a consignment fee, which is, you know, on our website. You know, if we're gonna do all the work and all the, now we have to cancel it, even more work than we would have to do on a regular consignment, you're gonna still pay the consignment fee, and we're gonna ship it back to you, and you're banned for using us again. So, but all the, you know, the few people that, you know, we have caught, have all admitted it. You know, you'd think a lot of them would be like, oh, well, that's a different name, and that's not me, and that's, you know, but they've all actually said, yep, that was me, sorry. And they're all really apologetic, but, you know, that's just the rules, you know, that's just, as we tell our 4-year-old, there's consequences, right? So that's just the way it is. So had to cancel those, had to ship those back either later this week or early next week. Had to reach out to a few people who actually paid for the items, cancel those. One guy actually wanted to pay for it. He's, even though I said, I think a consignor bid on this, bid it up, you know, the price, so we can cancel it and give you a full refund. The consignor's been banned. You know, that's what I wrote in the message. And the person said, no, I'm actually still happy with the price. I want this card, so I'm going to keep it. I said, okay, there he goes. That was actually it's a $1,350 Van Gogh Pikachu and BGS 10. Not even BGS Black Label. How much does a Van Gogh BGS 10 Black Label card go for then? $5,000, $10,000? Pristine 10 goes for $1,350. I mean, granted, consignor bid, so if they didn't, you know, maybe it would have gone for less than that. But I think the second bidder also was not the consignor, so it's really, I think it's actually probably a legitimate, you know, the most legitimate out of the other ones' sales. But I don't know, $1,350 for Van Gogh Pikachu. It's, I mean, that raw sealed is like what, $70-$80? I mean, kind of crazy some of the plays that you can go out there, just send them all and sell the rejects that didn't get the grades you want for your grading fee, make the 2% credit on your cashback card when you on the grading fees. I don't know, it seems there are a lot of plays out there. Anyway, had to deal with that this week, so that's something also that I just wanted to mention once again. There are people dying in wars, so having to cancel a few eBay orders in the end of the world, but hey, here I am talking about that. But yeah, the amount of people that are submitting is fantastic. We have a lot of buy it nows going up this week, which is great. That's actually growing pretty steadily. We had 1,400, we had like 800 and 1,000 something, then 1,400 submissions or cards submitted, and then we had like 550. So a pretty large drop off. But that's what happens. This is the way this business is, up and down, up and down. It's actually going to be nice because next week that means we're shipping 500 something items. And, our daughter goes into school, which she loves school, that's great. Sometimes you see kids when you're dropping off your kid and they're like screaming and hanging on their parent and like they're trying to leave and the kid's grabbing onto the door and it's pretty intense. But our daughter loves school. She's like, bye, she's like, she wants us to leave. But yeah, she's going to go to school and we only have 500 to ship instead of like this week we're shipping 1,400 cards. Well, after cancellations, probably like 1,300. But anyway, it's gonna be nice. We're gonna actually have a little time to breathe, which is great. Gonna look forward to that. Our house is still unpacked. Got to do that. There's other items on the list. We need to get a fence for our yard. We have 3 dogs, and to walk them every day. I mean, they would much rather just be let outside, and they've always been fenced-in dogs. So let them outside and roam for as long as they want instead of like walking and coming back. Will be nice. We got to get that fixed. Dishwasher's not working. The new stuff, stuff that you deal with as a homeowner. Got to get that working and whatnot. But anyway, that'll be nice next week. But for this week, shipping a whole lot of items. We actually got printing out all bulk labels. Now before, some people thought it was crazy, but we actually did print out each label as it came, kind of as a control measure. But we learned how to do a control and do a second check on each card before shipping it. So I'm just printing out 80, 90 labels at a time. You don't do 100 at a time, but anytime I do the bulk orders, there are some that have to be removed because it's an APO address, which has to be a separate form, or it's shipped to the PSA vault, which I don't know if you guys have noticed, but PSA vault orders have been stuck. Like, you cannot print a label for a PSA vault order because something goes wrong. So you have to print out pirate ship, and you have to do that, as well as, if someone ships to like a vault, like a PWCC vault or Fanatics, whatever it's called, it'll put like their name and then the PWCC customer number, and then if they have a long name, it like errors out, and you have to like put their name or the PWCC number at the company line, which eBay will reject in that bulk. So there's a lot of stuff you're learning to deal with. So usually it's like 90-ish because 10 of them are wrong and can't be done. But yeah, just print them all out and then we pick them all. Our guy that we hired seems to be, he did like, I don't know, 100-ish orders in like 2 hours. So that means, if he's here for like 8 hours in a day, that's 400 orders out the door, one person. So that is, I think, a decent amount faster. Granted, you have to pick all the stuff in order, whereas before we were like picking them in rows and boxes. So it seemed a little quicker to pull that in terms of singles. But, for a check system, you kind of want to pull in order to put the shipping label with each one. But anyway, I think it is faster. We're always trying to create efficiencies. And now I think every single level is 90% at least efficient. Scanning the items, the front and back of the 4 cards, 4 at a time scanned on the scanner, and then we have a program. You click a button and it goes front back picture, front back, and then you just save those. That's probably about 90% efficient. I'm sure there's more efficient ways to do it. Maybe we have 600 DPI. Anything higher, the scanner just takes way too long. Anything lower, the scanner is a lot faster, but I think it's too blurry. So 600 DPI seems to be where the sweet spot in there. So that's about efficient as you can get. Now, granted, you could do, like, I guess 2 scanners at once, and once you flip over those and those are scanning, you can go back to the other one to flip the other one. But once again, you can't mix people's orders, and it kind of becomes like you got to be really careful there because the scans are done before the titles. So when you have the titles in the spreadsheet, everybody's matched up. But before then, you can't really mix anybody up. We do have a system of when we open it, how many cards people have, it's this to this. But once again, You don't want to switch stuff up. So I think it's about 90% efficient, which is great. The actual listings are what my 90% plus efficiency. We have a third party, it's called Wonderlister, that you basically drop all the pictures, all the titles in a CSV, and then it just uploads it all at once, instead of, manually creating each listing. So that's about, at the efficiency that we can get. And the shipping now, everything's printed at 100 or 100 max card batches. Ship all those, give the item to the USPS, and there it is. Now, granted, you could always be more efficient in everything else, but we knew we were not as efficient as possible. We were probably, 50% efficient in shipping. Now I think we're up to 90. So everything could get better, but the amount of time that you're gonna have to put into it to become more efficient, the amount of improvement is just not gonna be huge. But if we have time, it's something that we can work on. But it seems like every single step of the process now is pretty efficient. So that's really good, and we're really happy about that. But what else? I think it's about it for this week. Once again, thank you to everybody who was submitting. Once again, we have one of the highest now payout rates. It's taken years to get to this level. We used to be 80% payouts, or 20% fee. We're now down to either 88%, or if you have higher end, 93, 95%. And at this point, it's pretty impressive. We actually went to, also, I forgot to mention, Gen Con, or I did. Lauren and I went to this event on Friday night, this kind of trade night thing, which was fun. But then I just went the following day because it was just so packed. We couldn't bring kids. It was just like, it was like a river of people. And I even felt bad, like it was kind of like cross sections, like turning left to go down another aisle, because I would have to cut through like a sea of people. It was like swimming upstream. It was like a salmon swimming upstream. It was crazy. It was sold out for weeks before. I think last year there were like 77,000 people that said they went there. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 100-some thousand. It was a massive amount of people. It really makes you impressed with how much this card game, all these TCGs have really, and this is most of it was board games. Just the amount of people there, it was crazy. So that was really impressive. Figure out plans for Chicago Collecticon. Now that we lived in Indianapolis, it's only a 3-hour-ish drive to get up to Chicago. So it's something that we're thinking about, and preparing for, possibly having a booth so that we can do it for the first time. We've done it to where we've gone to Collecticons, people have handed us a card or two, but nothing to this extent to where it's like, you could sell to these vendors for 70-80%, a lot of these, vendor point of view is like, I give 80%, or I trade at 70%, or maybe it's like a really good one and they do like 80-something-5%. Or you could send it to us, just hand it to us, and we'll, right there, ship it back to our P.O. box. We'll cover the shipping and the insurance and whatever it is. And you can just hand it to us, and like our payout rates are, if it's 100 to 1,000 card at auction, or fixed price, it's 88% payout. If it's 1,000 to $2,999.99, it's 93% payout. It's over 3,000, it's a 95% payout. And this is just not, a lot of these people are giving you like 80%, on average best. It's like, why don't you just send it to us? We could have it auctioned. We'll get the most eyeballs. You're not just at a convention. You're getting millions of impressions seeing your stuff. You're going to get the market, and you're going to get paid out at 88, 93, 95%. Granted, under $100 slabs, that's 88% plus a $5 surcharge, so it's more like probably 20-something%. But once again, you're probably getting a $50 slab. You're not getting 80% payout probably there either. So I think it could be extremely, extremely popular. Something that could test out, and maybe it's so popular that we start thinking about other conventions as well. I know with these conventions at Collecticons, there's Heritage there, there's Golden there, but those guys are really, really high-end stuff, and their payout rates are, they pay out 78%. They have a 22% buyer's premium. I mean, we just beat them on every level on both of those platforms. And then it's kind of like you have really high end or really low end. There's like the Whatnot streamers who will like buy all these junk slabs for 60%. So if you have an option here to hand it off and we sell it on eBay, and you get probably lower than eBay fees if you were to sell it yourself and we do all the work, I think it could be extremely popular. I think it could be so popular that we're kind of, it's crazy. But I don't know. Or I could go there and people just want cash right now. That's the reason they go to these things. You know, it's like they don't care. They just want 80% because they want the cash right now in hand. They don't want to have it auctioned and wait 7 days to auction and then wait 7 days to, you know, have the stuff paid and then pay you out. You know, it's weeks of being able to do that, and it might not be worth, you know, an extra whatever 8%, 10% to them, but it might actually be worth it to a lot of people. I don't know. We'll see. So that's something on our radar. I believe Chicago Collecticon is in October, but yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's really all I have for today. A nice long video. Ooh, 20 minutes. That means I could put an extra little ad in there, get an extra, you know, 50 cents. That's nice. Get an extra side of ranch. I don't even like ranch. I don't know why I said that. Usually ranch is 50 cents. Is that a scam? 50 cents for a little squirt of ranch on the side? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk again soon.